Hi everyone! Meet again with movie recap here. Today we're going to tell the story of a virgin girl named Aubrey who will be taken advantage of by her boyfriend Ronny.
Gonna go drain the little Wayne.
But this plan is known to her friend who immediately warns Aubrey. Then, can Aubrey keep her virginity? Let's just watch the video.
Aubrey? Yeah, I'll be on in a minute.
The story begins with the scene of dozens of high school teenagers who are partying in a house. They are seen enjoying the party that night. Meanwhile, at the back of the house was seen a young man named Jeff who was pacing while talking to himself. Moments later, he was stalked by the girl who appeared through the back door. It was Aubrey, who was his younger sister at school. At first, Aubrey intends to go home, but she is curious about what Jeff does there. It turned out that Jeff wants to declare love to his crush who had been his best friend since childhood. But because he still feels stiff, Jeff does exercise first to be smooth when declaring love. Jeff also asks Aubrey's opinion about the love poem that he will read later.
It's not cool enough, and it's like all this shit just gets so loud, I feel like I can't even hear myself think.
But according to Aubrey, his poem is ugly and his acting is also boring. As a result, Jeff is also intends to replace the screenplay with a more romantic method. Then, Jeff invites Aubrey to dance to reduce his nervousness.
Your balls are vibrating.
Not long after people rush out because the police came to disperse the party,
What's wrong with you assholes? Let's go!
the two also run away from there and then walk home together. It is known that Aubrey already has a boyfriend older than him.
Solange?
Also, learning how to play the drums seems like a discussion.
They finally arrive in front of Aubrey's house. I don't know what it means. Aubrey invites Jeff to stop by for a while in her room. They drink wine and talk about sex and love. Jeff admits that he has never done anything with a woman before.
Virgin skank.
The two teenagers continue to embrace each other until they fall asleep. The next morning, they were shocked by the sound of her mother Aubrey knocking on the door of the room.
Yeah, I'll be on in a minute.
Jeff then rushed through the window so as not to be caught.
What now?
Jump.
After that, Jeff told about Aubrey to two friends named Simon and Dixie. Jeff said that he had just met a unique girl who he judged to have a match with him, but unfortunately, the girl already had a boyfriend. Well, according to these two friends, if a girl suddenly becomes pretentiously familiar until you go to her room, it's a sign that she has a feeling of liking, but she said already having a boyfriend was just a way to test the seriousness of the man. Well, therefore, on the advice of these two friends, they've contacted Aubrey to invite her to the cinema. However, Aubrey apparently already has plans to watch first with her boyfriend, and finally, they decide to watch together.
Cool. Later.
Long story short, and Dave's friends were waiting for Aubrey in the cinema lobby. Unexpectedly, the girl who had just been declared in love by Dave the other day suddenly came along with her friends. She was Jane. A moment later, came Aubrey and apparently did hold her boyfriend Ronny. After agreeing, they all watched the same movie. Jane, who had been stuck near Dave, apparently made Aubrey a bit jealous. She came out of the cinema room, which was then immediately followed by Dave. In the lobby, Aubrey apologized for making Dave bother the other day until he had to jump out of the window. Instead of being honest about her feelings, Aubrey instead praised the match between Dave and Jane. Dave replied with the same compliment to Aubrey and Ronny. Dave then invited Aubrey to join them after watching later.
Hey, babe. Where am I? Seeing this shit alone?
Yeah. No.
Long story short, they continued to be present at the party held by one of her friends, Jen. There, Aubrey and Jen engaged in an emotional conversation about how playboy men are. Jen also had mentioned about the good figure of Dave who was always there for her.
Offer to buy dinner. I would be so freaking shocked. I would probably fall over.
Meanwhile inside, Ronny whispered a secret to Dave. He said that Aubrey is still a virgin and he plans to make Aubrey make love for the first time tonight.
She's inspiring. I'm actually writing a song about her.
Worried about it, Dave then approached Aubrey and asked her not to be invited to love by men like Ronny. Aubrey is angry because Dave has been sassy about managing her personal affairs.
What are you people doing in here? I told you,
Living room's off limits. We're leaving. Good.
Yeah, good.
A moment later, Ronny came to yell at Dev, which led to small dispute between them. After being successfully tolerated, Aubrey also went with Ronny.
We should not even be here. Children.
At the end of the party, Dev ended up alone with Jane in the room. This is the opportunity that Dev is looking forward to be able to express his feelings. Yes, if lucky, he can make love with Jane. But when Jane has started to get carried away, Dev even rushed away because he thought of Aubrey. He left Jane there.
No, not tonight. I'll see you tomorrow.
On the way, Dev received a message from Aubrey asking to be picked up at her house. After being picked up, Aubrey said that she had broken up with Ronny. The good news certainly brings a breath of fresh air to the seeds of their love that has just grown. When they got around, the two take turns expressing each other's feelings. The romantic moment was then passed on by kissing immediately in the parking lot.
Tonight, there's lasagna in the fridge. You should eat it because we're gonna be late. Okay?
The next night, Aubrey's parents were about to go out and probably go home late into the night. Well, aware there is an opportunity, Aubrey then invites Dev to come to her house. Then Dev came and without wasting time, the two immediately kissed each other. Before starting to make love, Dev was asked to wear safety first and both did it right then and there. After they sorted it out, the atmosphere suddenly turned awkward. There seems to be a sense of regret from Aubrey's face. Maybe because it is the first time, so they are confused about what kind of a reaction Aubrey suggests they should not meet first for a while.
I've only known you for what, like 1 weekend? Not even like 43 hours. I don't have a couple.
Dev then confided in his two friends about what happened. He said his relationship with Aubrey became a mess because of sex.
Sex is so much better.
According to his two friends, it wasn't a big deal. It is natural in a relationship. There are certain things that need adjustment. Maybe Aubrey is not ready and needs adaptation to the situation, so Dev must be a real man and convince Aubrey once again.
And graduation, before you know it, you want to play JFK.
The next day, Dev comes to Aubrey's house and expresses his desire to stay together. Although it looked indifferent, but Aubrey is willing to be escorted to school. On the way, finally Aubrey admitted that she had never made love before, but that doesn't mean she doesn't like it. Aubrey just needs adjustment. Dev promised to be loyal to Aubrey until she got used to it all. Finally, they made out, which was marked by kissing intimately in front of everyone, and the story is finished. Okay, that's the story from the movie The First Time 2012. Don't forget to like and share, subscribe also if not. Thank you for watching, see you in the next video.